We're finally doing Diddy Kong Racing. I have been putting this off for a while because I honestly thought it was going to be way worse than it was. And thanks to my new recording method, I was able to abridge it into a much shorter video. So this is going to be Dino Domain and both levels of that, so you're probably going to see each race like 3 times. I opted to go with a PG name here whenever I name myself.
I am the genie of the island. I'm here to help you. Good luck.
Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is change our car and we're going to switch to a plane.
Hello, friends.
Because we are going to need an extra balloon to challenge some things in Dino Domain. So you can already see one in the distance, which I'm going to completely flub right here. And this is whenever I first got back into the game, so I have very little idea of how the controls are actually working. It's taking me a minute. But once I'm through Dino Domain, I will be much better, and this game will be a lot easier. Alright, the next one you can see is above Dino Domain. Ignore that, we'll get that in a minute. That's your freebie. We have one through this tunnel, and then through this other archway over here. And then it'll be behind the palm trees on the right side here. I'm going to completely miss it again, because I hit the tree. But I just jump cut to this one. And honestly, it's a good thing I played the entire game first, because Future Jankus here realized he was short a balloon in a certain area that was right here that you can get right now. So I will be one balloon short for the majority of the run, but you guys can get that one and get ahead of me. It won't affect my pacing, just that one level, I'll have to grab it. So you can see it works like you collect the balloons and you can go through the doors with the number of balloons you have. One of the things that I like about this game is it's a little bit more open. It's kind of like Mario 64. And just like Mario 64, you have a little booster. Now the cool thing is, with this game, is that all the weapons are entirely fixed to whatever color balloon you get. And they stack if you upgrade them. So right now I have the regular missile. When I grab this balloon, it's a heat-seeking missile. And then in a little bit, when I get another red one, it'll become 10 missiles. Personally, I think the heat-seeking one is the best one for most situations. And then on a completely different side note, you can drive faster sideways than going forward, which is why I'm drifting so much there. The blue balloons will give you boosts. The green ones give you oil slicks, and then those can go up to landmines, and then later on, bubbles that will stop the opponent entirely. There's like magnets that will launch you towards whoever, and then you have like a shield balloon. But for the most part, you're going to see red, blue, and green a lot. Now you'll also see I've been collecting bananas throughout the course. That's because if you get to 10, every banana you get up to 10 will increase your speed. 10 will be the max you can get. As a post or side game objective, beating TT on all his time trials maps, you will need to do that. And for this one, it's actually pretty cool because all you have to do is beat one race. You don't have to do Grand Prix all the time. That said, there is a Grand Prix mode that we do need to beat. And I almost went into the wrong one there. It's Fossil Canyon next. Which I find funny because Fossil Canyon is, in my opinion, the hardest in Dino Domain. And I don't say that as a regular race, I mean that as like time trials. Trying to beat TT, you have to hit so many dash pads. And that is something replaying this game has taught me. Also, I didn't do it there. I'm going to go back to my other thought in a second. If you drift after taking that booster, you can get right back onto the road. But one thing I've noticed while replaying this game is that a lot of the car races are harder than the hovercraft and the plane ones, because you have to hit so many dash pads to keep up, and you'll see I'll really struggle towards Future Fun Land and some of the other levels. Also, okay, well, I messed that up. The booster colors do matter. So yellow is like the lowest, and then blue is the second lowest. Then you have purple, which is what you'll see when you hit those dash pads or whenever you get a triple. And then if you see green, that's the highest. And you can also get that by hitting dash pads after letting up on the gas. So that one I was holding onto the gas the whole time. That one I didn't. That one I held on. And there I did a little bit, did the drift float up. I also did a weird finagle thing to get around the landmine. Your turns are very weird in this game. This is a lot more precise than Mario Kart, which is part of the reason why I enjoy it so much more. But obviously the big thing I like about this one is being able to pick your weapons. And the adventure mode is really cool. I really wish more racing games did it. Anyway, this one's pretty hard, but for entirely different reasons, and I went into the water, but as you can tell by the fact that I'm still dubbing over this, I do win the race again. So, spoilers. The first round of races isn't hard in the slightest most of the time. I think I didn't even start to struggle until Dragon Forest. Like, you should be able to win the first race in the first 3 worlds pretty easily. It's the second phase and, of course, the Grand Prix that the races start getting harder. Now we got Hot Top Volcano, which is one of my favorites in the game. Certainly has my favorite music track.
Hot Top Volcano.
Completely missed those bananas like I wanted. That's okay. Also, the other thing about this racing game is it's very skill-based. You are trying to hold the center line as closely as possible, while also hitting those dash pads, because the dashers are what makes this so makes you go so quick. The blue balloons can make you go a little quicker, but it's not super necessary that you get them every single time. And of course, if you can get the bananas, go for them. Especially if you're trying to do TT in the time trials, you pretty much are intended to get them. Whoops. And again, even with this number of mistakes, you can still see I have a marginal lead. Because this first set of races, like, it's just supposed to teach you the course and get you practice with it. The next phase, which is the silver coins, will test your ability to go around in a lot of weird spots, and then the Grand Prix is going to test your ability to actually, like, see if you've mastered it. Now, another thing that's cool about this game is we actually have bosses to race. Unfortunately, they're kind of, well, we'll see.
Well done, kid. Now I challenge you to a race.
This is Tricky the Triceratops. And astonishingly, I actually did have a first try victory on this race. On the future ones, I will not be so lucky. He can run you over. Me shooting him and then driving under him was stupidly risky. There's going to be a boulder that comes down here. You want to hold to the left. This race is honestly more just of a patience tester. And fortunately, it's only a single lap, but it is a very long lap that gets tighter and tighter as you go. I went on the inside here, which is a mistake. I should not do that. You generally want to hold the outside. I should say you want to hold the outside on things like that, because the weird turn ends up creating more distance that you have to drive. There's a shortcut here. I've never been good at getting it. I just skip it every time. It's generally unnecessary. And you do need to be careful about using boosts on this thing, because you can just rocket over the side of the mountain and then lose immediately. Which is why I'm mostly hanging on to a missile, so if he gets ahead of me I can get a little bit of my distance back.
Well done, kid. Now try my new challenge. Collect all of my silver coins from around the Dino Domain. You must find 8 from each level and win, and then come back to see me.
I've got something special for you.
Yeah, I'm pressing the brake when you're skidding. I'm not sure if that's referring to the oil or drifting. If it's drifting, it helps you make sharper turns, and you'll see in some of the later races I do make use of that. But right now, I'm still relearning the game, kind of just having fun. When I recorded this B-roll, I was actually just hanging out with Maddie or my nephew. So, just had the mic off in the in-game audio, or not the in-game audio, the PC audio. So this first silver coin race, there's really nothing to say about it. I think they stuck every single one of them in the middle of the road so you can get it. Yeah. Literally all 8 of them. This is supposed to be a gimme just to kind of teach you how it works. Nothing really to say here. Obviously, it's still faster to drive sideways, as goofy as that is. Completely missed the dasher, but you can also boost through that in regular races. Missed the coin again. I'm also using, at this time, I'm using my old controller. I did finally get an 8-bit though, which I will actually be using somewhere in the Dragon Forest, but at this stage I'm still using the crappy Cyan controller.
This is for you.
Fossil Canyon.
Now, I think with Fossil Canyon I'm actually going to have to avoid taking my shortcut for a moment. As far as the coins go, Fossil Canyon's pretty easy. The actual hardest for the coins is going to be Jungle Falls. I actually had to redo that one a couple times. Interesting, yeah, no. Oh, you actually have to take the shortcut to get the coin, okay. I'm also far more focused on getting the coins in the first 2 laps. You can usually make up all the distance you lose in the later laps.
Lap 2.
That was a complete waste. Yeah, I'm gonna throw away my lead to get the coin. Oh no, I'm not. Okay. Apparently past me wanted to get the lead back and then get the coin. Generally a risky strategy. And if you do completely miss it like that on the last lap, go ahead and risk trying to lose your lead. You have to get all the coins and win, so you might as well get all the coins at least. You can figure out winning later. I could have held that drift longer. I have also spun out on this a couple times, so I'm sure that's part of what I was worried about. And also as a side note, if you're doing time trials or anything else, it's actually faster to take the inner road. I'm specifically being an idiot and taking the outer road, because I know the other racers aren't going to catch up to me, and it's not going to matter.
Jungle Falls.
And that is immediately one of the coins that I was pointing out as that makes this hard. Most of the coins are incredibly out of the way. This is where the game just starts getting a little rude. I intentionally skipped that dash pad because there's one right there, and then I'll have to get one in the middle of the road later. I actually did use a drift turn there, okay. So rather than using drift, you start with the drift and then you hit the brake, and it'll get you a much sharper turn. But you can't hold the brake for too long, otherwise you lose too much speed. Hit the water, but I should be fine. Even with Conquer overtaking me there. Big thing is I need to make sure I get that token for the before I win. Alright, and last up we have Hot Top Volcano, silver coin. This one as a kid used to mess with me so much. If you don't watch that intro all the way, like I skipped it specifically before it showed us where a coin was. This coin right here takes forever to find, and it's one of the like ones they intentionally put out of the way so you don't find it. There's a coin on the left side which I normally don't take. I was debating on going over that way to look, but there's one up there which I usually have a hard time hitting through the dash pad. Fortunately, they're very kind to us and they give us coins right in front of both of the zippers and send the AI away from the zippers for whatever reason. So we can get a lot of our speed back here. And there's one through this whole way. Okay. Now the last one I'm just missing is under that arch, so missed it, so I'm probably gonna skip the zipper on the next one. And I just cannot aim for the life of me on this run for whatever reason. Yeah, I was about to hit it and then I realized I could throw away my lead and then circle around to grab it, but sometimes it's better to just not get into that situation to begin with. And now we have a boss rematch. Which, before replaying this, I would have said is harder than the second boss. But I'm not sure that I agree with that sentiment anymore. I think he is harder than the third one.
I'll give you a special prize.
But I don't think he's harder than the second one. So, when he runs by those pillars, they're gonna fall. And as you can tell, he's a little bit faster. Now, I would like to say, yeah, I totally did this on my first try. No. I did not. I suffered this a lot, and eventually I found a exploit that actually helps me out later on in the game. It turns out if you rapidly press the A button, and this is the reason why I have my odometer on, or speedometer, you actually go faster than if you just hold A flat. So I started using the turbo button on my controller, and you can get a consistent 65 miles per hour. Or kilometers per hour, I'm not sure what they're using on this. Which will allow you to get ahead. It's basically the same speed you get from drifting. Now I'm holding onto these boosters because I do not want to use them. 9 times out of 10 they're a bullet in a foot on this stage. I barely missed that tree, but I do clip that one. And then I hear the mountainous thunder behind me. And I was very nervous about losing that one, but I did finally win it.
Well done, kid. You've earned a piece of the amulet. Now try the trophy challenge. See you later.
So by beating the second bosses, we'll get these amulets and eventually open up Wizpig. Now from here, we need to go back into Ancient Lake, because we need to go get a piece of the TT amulet.
Ancient Lake.
And you could have... Yeah, I forgot you could also press B to back out of those. I think I'm going to keep that in, because that actually is a useful thing if you go into the wrong door and don't want to deal with all the cutscenes. But you could have done this at any point during the last level. I just prefer to do it for the sake of the playthrough after we've beaten the boss and the silver coins. Diddy Kong Racing actually had battle minigames, and you do need to do these in the story mode to unlock them to play with your friends. This is probably the worst one, and I don't know why they opted to make this the first one. But it is what it is. So my strategy is to go in there and get one immediately. But after that, I don't go to the pit to get the eggs. So we're going to take them here, and then we need to protect it, or just hope nobody messes with it long enough for it to hatch. It'll blink slower and slower until it becomes solid. And now it's hatched, so we don't need to worry about it. So you'll see other people have dropped off eggs underneath their picture. For example, Banjo's got one right now. If I fly over there, I can steal Banjo's egg. And that's the real strategy to winning this, is because you put yourself up one and you put your opponents down one. Or at least one of your opponents down one. I also whiff a lot of shots in here. I think the heat-seeking missiles are a lot better than they are at this stage in the game. Later on I'll realize they're not that great, and you actually still have to have the character within sight, but... So mine got stolen. I think Diddy took it. So I'm going to take this one and put it down. And I'm planning to get payback and go get some from him, but I miss. And instead, I'm going to go bully Banjo some more. At least I was planning to. It hatched. But then I see Banjo's carrying one. So I shoot him on his way out. And I steal that so he doesn't get the win. And now, as long as nobody takes mine, I win. Looks like Banjo's going on his own. Diddy was going on his own, but nobody took from me, so I ended up winning. And that's why I say you have to just keep taking from the opponents. The other battle mini games are a lot more fun.
You won first prize.
I find it interesting that they chose that instead of "This is for you." They actually made a separate voice line. And we'll need these for the very end of the game, but might as well grab them now. We're in the area. And there was a bit of a jump cut because I was just sitting here and taking a break, and then we go over into the Grand Prix, or trophy race as it's called in this game. This is just your standard Grand Prix. If you've ever played Mario Kart, it works the same way. I think the point distribution is a little bit higher, but I'm not entirely positive. It's been a while since I played Mario Kart 64. But this is just, you need to be good at the courses and actually win. As you can see, Diddy is actually trying to overtake me here. And the plot for this game is that WizPig is basically taking over Timber's parents' island. That's not the reason I'm playing as Timber. I always played as Timber as a kid. But basically that everybody is gathered up to help deal with WizPig, which makes very little sense whenever they're all racing against each other. So maybe they're taking it easy on each other in the early game, thinking, oh yeah, we'll just get practice on each other, and then they are incredibly rude to each other as the game goes on, and that's why they get more and more aggressive. But in any case, the first race really doesn't have a whole lot going for it. It is literally just Luigi's Raceway from Mario 64 in dinosaur form. And I didn't stay on that long enough, but if you're in first place, you get 9. If you're in second, you get 7. Third, 5th, or 5 points. And so on. If you come in the last 3 places, you get 0 points. And there are situations where you are entirely, like, unable to lose, if that makes sense, if you get enough points. And unlike Mario Kart, this game doesn't designate a rival for you, like in Mario Kart 64. It will literally just do pure luck, pure skill, so one racer may have a better score in one race, but then another one will have a better one in another one. So it's a lot more forgiving as far as AI balances go. Also, I've been putting oil slicks behind the dash pads. You actually want to put them in, like, front of the dash pad so they hit the dash pad, and then hit the oil slick, and then completely lose control of their speed. This is another thing I realized later on. And you also don't want to drop it right there, because nobody's going to hit it. But I guess at this phase I didn't really care, because I can't really see my map down there, but I can tell that I'm in a heavy lead considering the fact that there's nothing flying at me. And that's one of those bubbles I was talking about earlier. One of the AIs actually thought to save those up and thought it would be a good idea to place one right there.
Jungle
So now we're
Falls.
6 points above the highest person here. Because Diddy is up to 12, which means he had which means he didn't come in second twice, because he would have a lot more points. I think he came in second and then third, so even though I'm doing horrible here, it's not going to bite me in the backside. And once again, these zippers are the secret to getting your distance back, because even with such an abysmal start, because of the zippers, I can just dash straight to the front. Now, if you look here, it is literally impossible for me to lose.
Hot Tub Volcano.
Even if somebody gains 9 points, they can't hit mine, so I just win. It doesn't matter, this one's a given. And there's really nothing else to be said about this track in particular at the moment. Like, you can see the AI is still dodging the zippers for whatever reason. Also, I think this is where I realized the turbo button does not work on the plane. That slow up right there is because I realized that was on, or I was trying it out, one of the two. That spamming A button or using the turbo button only works on the car. It does not work on planes or hovercrafts. It will just stall your hovercraft or your plane. And that is the only perfect race, the only perfect trophy race that I have. The other ones I will lose one or two, but it's not really important to me. The important thing is that you get the trophy. And so sometimes sacrificing a win just to make it easier on yourself, generally worth it. Now, I'm not sure if I edited this weird, but we also have races with Taj here. Yeah, so normally he would challenge you to the car race once you get a certain number and you leave. So I'm going to go do that one first. And then he would do the hovercraft. But because I loaded it in the game at some point and then went into Dino Domain again, I got it whenever I loaded into the game. Didn't want to progress it, so I just went ahead and did it here. And this is a very easy, just gimme golden balloon. And as you can tell, Wizpig's face is starting to fill out. Looks like the Phantom of the Opera up there.
Hello, friend. Bye-bye for now.
Of course, you get a golden balloon. And then if you go onto his face here and then honk your horn, he'll warp over immediately. If you're trying to do a plane, trying to get your vehicle changed from a plane, that's the best way to do it. Now I did try to cheat this race on my first attempt, which is why I lost it. You can't cut across that snow area to the right just to go straight under the arch. You actually have to pass the flags as you go. That way it keeps you on the track of the race, so don't try to cheese it. It will not work. With the hovercraft, it's really just about aiming it in the direction you want to go. So what you want to do whenever you do turns, because you lose too much speed, and I'm not doing it here because I didn't realize this until like the third area, is you press R to jump, and then you'll go into the air, turn the way you want to, and then you'll start dashing in that direction, because your engine's still going. It's a lot more precise than just doing a hard turn. Kinda did it there, but not to the degree that I'll probably be doing it in the later levels. And this turn right here is the only thing that will mess you up, because that doorway has kind of a weird hitbox.
Hello, friend. Bye-bye for now.
It'll take us a couple seconds to get the golden balloon because we have to wait for it to get low enough to grab it. Thank you for watching. Next time we'll do Snowflake Mountain. That is all for this one. Happy haunting.